Okay, so here's him talking about Star Trek Day. Which, oh, if you don't know, CBS did like a bunch of announcements for Star Trek Day. I think it's the anniversary of the first, episode of Star Trek airing or something. And they basically just did like the trailer for Star Trek Discovery Season 3. They did a trailer for the second part of Star Trek Lower Decks. They did trailers for different series. That's all it was. And Colston of 20 bits. Here's another Chud just in case you're hurting for content. There was no... Oh, there we go. Okay. I think I saved this guy, but I'll do it there anyway. Okay.
Hail YouTube, Dominions, Doomentites, and Arch-Villains! Thank you all for supporting me in my effort to save pop culture. And I would ask...
We gotta save pop culture by making women not be in Star Wars anymore.
Ask you please make sure you are still subbed, turn on your notification bell, and if you are not subscribed, please consider doing so. This channel could use your support. Thank you, and enjoy this video. Yesterday was Star Trek Day, and like a loathsome vulture descending on a fallen lion to scavenge some easy pickings from the
Ugh, the cock man with 10 bit, yeah.
Dying King, Kurtzman used Star Trek Day as a stunt to try and fund more of the very disease.
So, DoomCock, it's an event to promote the new Star Trek series, right? What did you expect them to do? Like, hey, we're supposed to be here to promote the new shows, but some people on the internet don't like it, so let's not do that. Dude, it's a promo event for their future projects. That's what it is, dude. 100 bits from Zombie Tomcat. Hey, Hannah, my friend's stream started, so I'm going to hang out with them. Have fun watching the Chuds. Thank you. Thanks for coming to the stream. How can anyone take him serious? His voice, it just makes me laugh. It's so LARPy. I know. He's so committed to this character. He did a whole hour-long interview, and he was in character the whole time. It's so weird.
That killed Star Trek. And it failed. I am told that Kurtzman was hoping to inspire investors to fund...
His sources. We've talked about this before. His sources are 4chan. He reads rumors that are made up on 4chan. There have literally been people who went in and made, like, expose videos where they made up intentionally fake information for this guy to see if he would be baited into saying, like, yeah, my sources said this. And literally hidden in the 4chan posts are things like the first letter spelling out fake or, like, you're an idiot. All those kind of things. And he not only posted about them and he's like, these are rumors. He said, my source confirms. Confirming that his source is either imaginary or someone who's messing with him. He literally gets stuff from 4chan and he's like, yep, this is legitimate. Freaking out 99 with a bit. Oh, I already read that one. Maybe I missed something else. Maybe it was a follow. Oh, thank you. It's Geodude. Thank you for following. Welcome.
This latest proposed corruption of Star Trek, the so-called Strange New World.
The new corruption of Star Trek. It's a new Star Trek series, bro. Calm down. You're being hysterical. Thank you to freaking out 99 with a bit. At least Jeremy's persona is believable. The disgruntled gamer thing at least works and makes sense. Daddy Sume, my sources tell me that Star Trek is going to become a religion with Picard as a Christ figure. I totally didn't read that on 4chan. This is seriously an insider source.
Where emo Spock with his Mikey Spock phony sister that never existed.
I thought the guy who plays Spock in Discovery did an amazing job. He, like, nailed it. I thought he nailed it in terms of, like, recasting. I thought he did a great job. I'm excited for Strange New Worlds. For those of you who don't know, it's going to be a Star Trek series that takes place on the Enterprise, but prior to Kirk becoming the captain. So Captain Pike is still captain, but Spock is there as the science officer. He's not the first mate yet, though. He's not number one. Yeah, it looks like it'll be fun.
Serves
I like him better than Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
aboard an Enterprise that isn't with a woman he sings with in elevators.
Oh no, he's super upset about the short trek that was cute and endearing. M the Ambassador 19. I'll give him this. He isn't just some dude sitting on $300 gaming chair with 500 pop figures in a case. He's cringy, but he's trying, I guess. Daddy Sume, what about Picard? What did you think of Picard, Hannah? I never finished it. I only got through like the first 4 episodes.
I don't know if this ploy was successful and managed to find some gullible investors who haven't ever heard of Star Trek or seen...
Hey, bud. I know you're super salty, but the fact that they keep confirming new series kind of means that it's making money, right? I pay for CBS All Access all year round. It's like $6. It's not that expensive. And if it funds more Star Trek, sure, I'll keep it. I think it's cool. Like, the new Star Trek is hit or miss, but that's always been Star Trek. Yeah. Star Trek has never been consistently good, even in the good series. The first 2 series of Star Trek The Next Generation are not very good, and a lot of it's even yikesy, right? Like, and the last season or so of Star Trek The Next Generation is questionable too. Deep Space Nine, I like a lot, but it changes a lot of the canon. It, like, deals with conflicts that other series wouldn't have touched. Like, in the original series, Spock's brain exists. That's an episode, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. The animated series, pretty consistently bad, but it's funny, right? Enterprise, entirely bad until the last season. So, like, Star Trek has never been this bastion of perfect television. It's just that when it's good, it's really good.
You know, Kurtzman has crapped all over it, but I do know that from a ratings point of view, Kurtzman's Star Trek Day was a spectacular failure of staggering proportions.
Daddy Sume, Voyager. We did not mention Voyager. Oh yeah, a lot of people don't like Voyager. Voyager I like for the Doctor, and that's it. I know you love Voyager.
I like Voyager, except for all of the yikesy stuff with, like, oh god, who's the number 1 in Voyager?
Oh, Chakotay.
Yeah.
Because they got the...
Is...
Because, oh, for those who don't know. Okay, so in Star Trek Voyager, the first mate, the second in command under the captain is named Chakotay. Chakotay is a Native American. Now, the thing is, the person they got to be the, like, Native American consultant for the show to try and, like, be like, hey, is this okay? What should we do with this character? It turned out he was a fraud. And he was just making stuff up. So it's, like, all sorts of, like, oh, my ancestors, we will do the mystical, like, all sorts of, like, you know, stereotypical, ooh, magical Native American stuff. It's pretty cringe. M the Ambassador with 100 bits. I remember when Movie Bob tried to do a character and everyone made fun of him. I get the vibes from Mr. Doomcock.
Numbers reflected on YouTube. Numbers that are entirely consistent with past failures of Kurtzman Trek on YouTube. Numbers that graphically and starkly illustrate the decline of Star Trek under the growth.
I didn't watch Star Trek Day because I didn't even know it was happening, but I still watched the trailers and stuff after the fact, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of people didn't know about it. I didn't see a single ad that they were doing a Star Trek Day thing. That has no relevance to whether or not it's successful when it's put on Netflix internationally or when it's put on CBS All Access here, the actual shows, not the actual, you know, thing. And there are tons of people who, while they like the shows, aren't necessarily going to take the time to watch a whole event about them. That's for, like, niche fans. Daddy Sume with a bit. Don't forget the incredibly cringy relationship between Neelix and Kess, which honestly borders on grooming and emotional abuse. Yeah. I don't remember that much about it. I know she aged very quickly or something, right?
I don't remember anything about that. I just know that all of their interactions are weird.
I thought Kess, like, when they found her was like a child, but, like, their species ages very quickly, so she was an adult shortly within the series.
Gross mismanagement of Secret Hideout. In this video, I'm going to let those numbers speak for themselves. I'm going to
Okay, if you did that, it would just be a video of you just showing, like, the view counts. You're not going to let them speak for yourself. You're going to comment over all of it for 13 minutes.
Look at the numbers for these so-called Star Trek Day panels. And I'm going to look at the numbers for the short trek videos that were posted on YouTube. These shorts were supposed to be premium entertainment for CBS All Access subscribers, or at least they were pitched that way. They were produced as cheap quickies to exploit and placate the world market.
There's nothing funny about
Exploit and placate. Such loaded language. It's so weird. It's not exploiting any more than any other product is. They just already have certain sets and stuff built, and they're like, hey, let's do a little, like, anthology short Star Trek stories, and we'll use sets we've already built, and it'll be cheap, and it'll be a cool extra content for people. I like the short treks a lot, but I didn't watch them on YouTube. You know why? Because I pay for CBS All Access, and I already saw them. Daddy Sume with a bit. She was always an adult. She just went into heat for the only time in her life, except it was a false alarm, but yes, they lived for only like 10 years. Ooh.
That was underwhelmed with the performance of Star Trek Discovery. But the world said no thank you, so CBS...
No viewing figures have ever been released for Star Trek Discovery, as far as I know. Like, no one knows, and anyone who says they do is lying.
...changed its tune, said, oh, no, these are CBS All Access exclusives.
What?
Bailey Quinn said Jake went live.
Okay. I'll rate him once we're done.
Added value for subscribers. Yeah, it added so much value that no one wants to watch them on YouTube for free. They're like 12 minutes long, folks, but most YouTube viewers would rather spend that 12 minutes cleaning the toilet than watching Kurtzman's Star Trek. So here are the numbers. Behold the failure of Star Trek Day on CBS All Access.
My God, Bones, what have they done?
Again, I'm a big fan of Star Trek, and I'm not interested in this. Do you know why? Because it's just promotional material. I'll watch a trailer or something, but I don't need to hear Patrick Stewart come down and for a minute or whatever talk about Star Trek. Like, I know what Patrick Stewart thinks about Star Trek. I don't feel the need to watch this kind of, like, how do I put this? Self-promotional pap. It doesn't mean anything. All it is people come down to like, Star Trek means so much. Star Trek is amazing. Like, yeah, we know. We know you like Star Trek. Most people aren't interested in this kind of thing.
I now believe in a no-win scenario.
CBS All Access has 210,000 subscribers on YouTube.
CBS All Access.
Yeah, very mature. You can tell the strength of your argument when you start calling people names and, like, streaming services names.
I currently have 205,000 subscribers, and I suspect that in a month I will have more subscribers than they do.
Okay?
So
Why? I subscribe to CBS All Access on the actual, like, site where I can watch the shows. Why would I subscribe to a YouTube channel that's just about the streaming service? Like, it's a weird argument, right? Like, the main content of CBS All Access is not on their YouTube channel. Yours is on your YouTube channel. Their content is put out on their app, which is where I watch that stuff.
No lie. If I ever did a video with this few views, I would view it as a disaster. Given the number of subs I have, if I do a video with 30,000 views, I view it as a failure. But just...
I'm the ambassador with 100 bits. This would be like going to a musician's video, hyping up an upcoming music video, and showing the low numbers to say that nobody will watch the music video. Yeah, it's very stupid.
Look at these numbers, people. Look how Kurtzman's Star Trek has diminished interest in the franchise, killed public enthusiasm, plunged the...
Promotional videos that are like a minute long aren't the franchise, you idiot.
very topic of Star Trek into a ratings abyss. You think that Picard was a success? Look at the Star Trek Day 2020 panel with Sir Patrick Stewart discussing Picard. 2.1 thousand views in 19 hours.
It's a minute-long video. It's not even some in-depth thing. If I saw this in my feed, I'd be like, oh, it's gonna be Patrick Stewart being like, I'm so excited about Star Trek. I loved being in Picard. Blah, blah, blah. Happy Star Trek Day. I wouldn't waste the time. Why would I care? It's just promotional material.
My God. If I had a video, any video, that scored like that, especially one starring the distinguished Sir Patrick Stewart, my God, Bones, I have no words. Think about it. Sir Patrick Stewart.
By the way, I called it. He said, I'm gonna let the view count speak for themselves, but then the video is just him speaking the whole time.
About Picard, it only takes you 1 minute and 17 seconds to watch. It has 2.1 thousand.
That's actually turning me away. Like, why would I want to watch that? There's clearly nothing substantive there.
Views. Star Trek Day 2020, the Star Trek Universe panels. 3 hours and 30 minutes has 3.6 thousand views. And that's a whole panel of celebrities.
Celebrities. They're people who are on Star Trek shows. It looks like based on the thing they have Patrick Stewart, the woman who plays the main character in Discovery. We have Captain Janeway. We have Sulu. Like,
the
there's...
numbers are much better now.
What are they?
The two, like, panels, they've got...
Okay, yeah. So they're a lot higher now anyway, but
Star
like...
Trek Day.
I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I don't feel the need to watch these. I don't think that's indicative of the ratings of the actual show.
2020 Picard and the Next Generation panel. The Next Generation panel. 21 minutes. Had 7.5 thousand views.
26,000 views now.
Wouldn't that tell you that it has nothing to do with the quality of the show, and it has to do with the fact that people just aren't interested in these panels? Because The Next Generation's like the most successful and popular Star Trek series of all time, and it only got that many views, even though it's up higher now to 26 or whatever. Like, if it were that people didn't like New Trek exclusively, wouldn't they have still watched that panel? Do you not understand how this shows that your argument is really, really stupid?
The best that they have to offer is the cast of The Next Generation. They couldn't even get 7.5 thousand views. That tells me that things are so bad, folks, that it has actually diminished and impacted not just enthusiasm for Kurtzman's Star Trek, but all Star Trek.
Oh, so you have to say that somehow retroactively people dislike Discovery, which the first season I get. Second season I enjoyed. Excited for season 3 to see where it goes. You're saying that retroactively it somehow ruined people's enjoyment of Next Generation. That's very stupid. Like, again, Star Trek Enterprise existed like 20 years ago. Star Trek has put out bad Trek. It hasn't sullied people's view of the franchise, right? People still like the franchise bits that they like, even if they don't like other aspects of it. That's a very stupid argument.
Star Trek The Next Generation.
My God. It's full of suck.
Star Trek Day 2020. Sir Patrick Stewart, it looks like Jonathan Frakes, 1.9 thousand views. Another clip with Sir Patrick Stewart describing something or other, 1.5 thousand views. We've got 659 views on this video, Star Trek Day 2020. Watch out for these guest stars. No thanks, said YouTube. Ooh, we'd rather clean the toilet. We'd rather trim our toenails. We'd rather clean the litter box. Star Trek Day 2020, Jack Quaid reveals blah blah blah. 637 views. Star Trek Day 2020, Tawny Newsom's favorite parts. I don't know who Tawny Newsom is, and I don't care. 403 views in 19 hours. Star Trek Day 2020, Lower Decks panel.
That's right.
4.3 thousand views.
And the ambassador with a oh no, I already read that. Sorry, must be a different one. Deep Southern Man, thanks for hosting.
Oh, I mean, am I exaggerating? Look at this.
Yes, you are. You're blowing this way out of proportion, and it's kind of hilarious.
We've got Star Trek Discovery, get to know Grudge the Cat, 2.9 thousand views. Star Trek Day 2020, Anthony Montgomery explained something that only 256 people on YouTube were interested in.
Let me see how many videos did they put out? Do you still have that link open? Like for the CBS All Access? Because the amount of videos they put out matters too. It looks like they were putting out, I thought it was just the ones you had already shown, but if they put out like 2 or 3 dozen videos in the span of a day, yeah, they're gonna get low views. Because people who would normally watch one are also gonna be split,
Well, yeah,
right?
They put a ton out, so
1, 2...
like it just goes.
Hold on, go down a little bit. The Star Trek Discovery Season 3 trailer got 2.2 million views. Is he gonna mention that? Or is he gonna just be like, no, that doesn't count because it doesn't fit my narrative?
Videos.
So they put out 35 videos in a 24-hour span. If not, I don't know if they dumped them all at the same time or if they did them one after another. Regardless, even if they did one per hour, of course people are going to be split on what videos they're going to watch because they're all going to show up in their subscription feed in a big block. Or only a couple of them are going to show up because that's usually how YouTube works. If you upload a bunch of stuff at once, it either shows up as one block of content and people aren't going to click through all of them necessarily. People don't have the attention span to stay on one thing on YouTube that long. Or 2, they're not all going to show up in people's subscription feeds. Again, the trailer for Star Trek Discovery Season 3 got over 2 million views.
So it looks like they had a panel for each of like the shows.
Yeah.
And then these small ones are just like highlights.
They're highlight clips from the panels.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh my god. This is absolutely...
This is DoomCock.
I'm escaping. One place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Sergeant Four-Leaf PUBG, thanks for subscribing.
And CBS All Access can't see what...
I'm just gonna, hold on. CBS All Access. So here we all the panels, obviously with more views than they had when he was talking about it, and it looks like they're still uploading videos from this. Let's go down to where's the trailer? Star Trek Discovery Season 3 trailer, which we're not going to watch because I don't want to get flagged for like using their video. Over 2 million views. Do we have any other trailers that they showed? Star Trek Lower Decks mid-season trailer got 21,000 views. It's a new show though. Like, wouldn't the 2 million views on the Star Trek Discovery Season 3 thing give DoomCock pause to be like, hey, it seems like a lot of people actually care about this show and care about where it's going in Season 3. Otherwise, why would it have 2 million views?
He didn't scroll down far enough.
He didn't. He must have known, because I'm sure he watched the trailer. Like, he's so disingenuous. It's ridiculous.
Kurtzman is done. Really? Star Trek Day 2020 Enterprise panel. 7.6 thousand views. Star Trek Day 2020 Dominic Keating on the items he blah 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 229 views in 20 hours. Scott Bakula himself, the captain of the Enterprise.
He was the captain of the NX-01 Enterprise, which was like the least popular show in the franchise.
In a Star Trek Day 2020 panel, 656 views. The Ready Room with Will Wheaton. Better be ready for ultimate fail because it only got 341.
Is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid. stupid.
One views. Star Trek Day 2020, Ethan Phillips has all the non-viewers, I'm guessing is the rest of that. It says 530 views. The all-time champion, oddly enough, is the Star Trek Day 2020 panel from Voyager, 10,000 views. Still, after 20 hours, a chronically, horribly anemic viewership that would have me looking for a bridge to jump off if it was me. So, that is basically the true and accurate tale of the numbers.
Let's ignore the 2 million view video that's a trailer for the actual flagship show of this era of Star Trek, though, because it would make DoomCock look
There's
bad.
nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Freaking Out 99, he probably thinks the lower deck is political because it has a brown woman in it. It seems like that's how he feels about Star Trek Discovery, too.
Star Trek Day is supposed to be a celebration of Star Trek, but this is a wake. A wake in a dry county on an Amish farm in a 105-degree day in the dead of August. Dry and drier, without any music at all, except for Ma on the spoons and Pa on the apple cider jug.
The ridiculous pictures he paints are so funny to me. He's so hyperbolic. Again, I've liked a lot of the Star Trek content that's come out of CBS All Access. I think Lower Decks is a lot of fun if you haven't seen it. It's basically a comedy series set in the Star Trek universe. It's by some of the same writers as Rick and Morty. It's funny. I like Star Trek Discovery in Season 2. I'm excited to see Season 3. I'm excited for Strange New Worlds. Like, this idea that he thinks that Star Trek has become this, like, dystopia and that it's just trash and no one likes it now is so hyperbolic and so, like, narrow. It's so strange to me. Like, if you don't like newer Star Trek, that's fine. I can't make you like something you don't like, and that's completely fair. But to act like because you don't like something, like the franchise is coming to an end and it's all just crashing and burning, is the most childish, solipsistic worldview I can possibly think of. I'm the ambassador with 100 bits. I think he's trying to be poetic, but he doesn't understand prose and rhythm, maybe. Daddy Sume, this guy seeming to like Star Trek just seems stupid and antithetical. He plays a Nazi and likes the most progressive sci-fi setting, yet hates all progressives. Steve Shives did a good video where it's like, what do right-wing people see in Star Trek? And I highly recommend that if you're ever wondering about, like, right-wing people liking Star Trek and why that might be. I don't know if it's, like, a definitive answer, but it's an interesting video that looks at why that might be the case.
Star Trek Day and these videos that they've posted are about the future of Star Trek. But fans know Star Trek under these people has no future. No surprise, given how utterly wretched Discovery, Picard, and the shit treks are. Want metric proof? Look at these numbers on their premium short treks, offered free on YouTube. F-Frame and Dot. After 4 days, it
Is he
had
using the same screenshot? I'm pretty sure he showed this, like, right after they came out, and I think they're higher than that now. Hold on, let me go. CBS All Access. I need to go to YouTube first, sorry. CBS All Access. Maybe I have a playlist of short treks I could take a look at. Lower Decks. Twilight Zone. Short treks. So yeah, he's showing out-of-date view counts on these. What a shock. Either way, again, I like short treks, but I didn't watch them on YouTube. You know why I didn't? Because I pay for CBS All Access and I already saw them.
gotten 1.5 thousand views. Children of Mars, CBS All Access 4 days ago, 1.4 thousand views. Ask not. 4 days, it got 1.4 thousand views. I know commercials that do better than that. The girl who made the stars, the bestest ever, 939 views. And the winner, Q&A, Star Trek Shit Trek, 4 days posted, gets 2.
There's the trailer for it. Were they only showing the short treks for a limited time or something? Hold on. Ephraim and Dot is on there still. The Trouble with Edward, that's just a trailer. Escape Artist, CBS All Access, that one's on there. 18,000 views. That's just a behind the scenes thing. That's a trailer. That's a trailer. That's a behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. That's just a trailer. They might have removed some of these because it was like a limited time thing. Because I don't see them on here anymore.
0.1 thousand views with the so-called saviors of Kurtzman's Star Trek, the Strange New Worlds cast.
I don't necessarily think it needs to be saved. I like Lower Decks. I like Discovery. They really made like a face turn in season 2. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I liked it. Excited for season 3. I feel like I'm a broken record, but every time he talks about it like this, I just need to like bring reality into it and be like, hey, there are plenty of people who like this show. It's fine. I'm excited for Strange New Worlds, but like, I'm fine with the shows we have currently.
These guys, number one.
I haven't finished Picard, so can't really comment on it.
So-called number 1, that really is kind of like number 2 in my book, and Pecker Spork, or Emo Spock, however you want to call him, doing scintillating dialogue inside of a damn elevator, singing at
That's one of the better short treks. I like the Spock in the elevator one.
each other, 2.1 thousand views. This was 4 days in after they were posted. 4 days. This is free Star Trek entertainment offered to the world, and the world can't be bothered to watch it.
I think that's because Star Trek is a pretty, how do I put this? It's a very specific fan base. If you're into Star Trek, you're into Star Trek, and if you're not, you're probably not. You know what I mean? It's not like Star Wars where it has this giant broad appeal. I think it's a little more niche than that. So if you're someone who's a fan of Star Trek, you already have CBS All Access and you've watched these, or you've illegally downloaded them. When they're uploaded to YouTube, why are you going to watch them again? You already saw it. If you want to watch it, you can watch it on your TV with your CBS All Access account. I also don't know how people would necessarily know about this, right? Like, again, unless you're searching, like, CBS All Access short treks, how are you going to know they're online? I don't know. There's 1,000,001 reasons, and it could be that people just don't like them. But I think jumping to that when there are other explanations is a bit weird, considering they continue to truck along, and it seems like they're doing fine with the amount of people who subscribe to CBS All Access.
The original Star Trek inspired so much devotion that even when the show was canceled by NBC, fans would not let go of it. It spawned spontaneous conventions held by fans for fans. The big difference back then, of course, was that Star Trek was being produced by people who love Star Trek, and now Star Trek is being produced by people who hate Star Trek for people who never cared for Star Trek. I think the rationale on CBS's part is they thought, oh...
Why would they make Picard then? Again, if you don't like Picard, that's one thing. But to say that they're trying to broaden their audience and they don't care about Star Trek fans. Why make an entire series that's intent is basically next generation fan wank, right? That would make no sense. Or why would they be doing Strange New Worlds, which is entirely based upon knowing what the Enterprise is and who Spock is, and like why that's something that's interesting? Why would Lower Decks be something they're doing, which is entirely based upon making fun of like Star Trek lore almost? A lot of the jokes are like things that you need to know. I watched an episode the other day, and the ending joke was hilarious. It was like, 2,000 years in the future or something, and it's about how, like, historians get things wrong, and the final joke is like, and now we'll talk about the most important person in Starfleet history, Miles O'Brien. And it's like, oh, that's a funny joke, but it's a joke that you wouldn't get if you didn't watch Next Generation or Deep Space Nine. So, like, how can you say that they don't care about Star Trek lore when they're consistently referencing it? Very strange.
Oh, if we have 100 million Star Trek fans, that means we have over 7 billion people who don't like Star Trek. Let's make a Star Trek for those people. Our views will soar. Yeah, great idea. Look at the billions of subscribers.
I don't even know if he's delusional. I think he just is all in on the grift. I think he just knows he gets a lot of clicks from this garbage. Miles O'Brien saved the entire Federation. Don't disrespect the Space Irish. Sure.
There's nothing funny about the
Zonated, Zonate, Zonated Dragon.
That was really hard, love. I'm proud of you for making it through.
2-month subscription streak, thank you.
And views you got there, Chief. Meanwhile, the chronically abused and mocked Star Trek fans of actual Star Trek have fled.
Star Trek.
That's what happens when you make a mockery of Star Trek. You think it's a laugh to put human DNA into tribbles and then show kids eating them.
That was funny. That was a very funny short trek. Yes, that was funny. Oh no, we can't destroy the sanctity of the tribbles as a lore thing. Dude, it's a comedy.
It's not like they ever said what made tribbles
right.
Anyway.
Tribbles are a silly, stupid concept anyway. It's a great episode, but it's by far not one of the best episodes. How do I put this? It's one of the better comedy episodes of Star Trek, but even that episode didn't take it seriously. The fact that you're like, oh no, the sanctity of tribbles has been trodden upon.
I liked that episode.
I did too. I thought it was cute.
I've always been a huge fan of
There's nothing
Star
funny
Trek.
about the tools of
Star
capitalism.
Trek, the original series, is my favorite. It's my go-to. If I watch Star Trek, it's the original series.
The Trouble with Edward. Daddy Sume's asking for a link. I don't know if it's online.
There's a trailer for it.
Full episode. Do they have that on here? Short Trek, The Trouble with Edward. Yeah, it's not on here anymore. I think they had the short treks on here in full for a limited time, but then they removed them. So you'll have to get a CBS All Access account or pirate. It's fun. It's a fun little short trek. And John Benjamin plays a Star Trek character in it. It's fun.
Taking in cannibalism. That's what happens when you retcon Spock's entire life to make some kind of bullshit point about girl power and Mikey Spock being the bestest ever, perverting Spock and his family as characters just to...
You've perverted the Spock family by having him have a sister who's black. Who cares? What? I thought all the Spock her stuff was good. Like, it gives an interesting explanation of, like, and it's not like you need this. Again, this is all fan wank material, which is why it's so weird to me that you're saying they're making Star Trek.
Please don't make that hand motion ever again.
My point being that, like, the idea of Spock having a human step-sibling that helped him sort of, like, reach parts of his humanity, who then ripped it away from him by being incredibly cruel. That's interesting, right? If you're gonna do the, like, let's look into the lore and, like, the let's look into Spock's history, which you don't really need, but if you're gonna do it, I thought it was well done.
Yeah. I liked that they gave a really plausible explanation for why he never mentioned Michael, like...
Yeah. Daddy Sume says, no one tell him about his half-brother who was mind-raping people. Yeah, in Star Trek, the final... which one was it?
It was 5.
5? Was it 5? The one where Spock just out of nowhere goes like, oh, this is my half-brother. He's like a Vulcan messiah, and he can, like, use mind powers to comfort people. And, like... Spock already has a history of having siblings that he hasn't mentioned before. This isn't new.
Yeah, it was
Score.
Final Frontier.
Final Frontier.
Or points with the woke crowd. That's what happens when you inject utter stupidity like sonar in space into a story. Sonar in space so they can detect Klingorks that they can obviously already detect from light years away because
Freaking Out 99, let's be honest, he only cares that she's brown. It's probably a pretty big part of it.
There's nothing funny
Wind
about the
Chanter,
tools
I
of
remember my
capitalism.
dad wouldn't watch Deep Space Nine with me because Cisco was black. Oh, your dad's a friggin' asshole.
they detect them entering the orbit of the sound planet.
Is your dad DoomCock? I think that would fit.
The space antenna. To say Kurtzman Trek is moronic is to insult morons.
I don't know how to break it to you, bud, but there are some pretty dumb episodes of all Star Trek.
That's true. Vulcan Princess. They mentioned Vulcan Princess in that movie. That's so.
Behold the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
Right down here, below the part that he's showing, is the 2.2 million view trailer for Discovery Season 3. But we can't mention that because it'll go against the anti-new Star Trek circle jerk.
Star Trek is a moribund franchise after only 3 years of abuse. I don't know if the corpse can be revived, but CBS better get out the shock paddles and get a new creative team in lickety-split.
And the funny thing is, too, I've mentioned this before, too, I don't think Alex Kurtzman good. I do wish he was replaced. But, like, I don't think that Discovery is bad. I don't think that, like, Lower Decks is bad.
Nothing funny
You
about
can
the
say
tools of
Alex...
capitalism.
The first season of Discovery is not good. But I like the second season. Kurtzman isn't good, but that doesn't mean the entirety of New Trek is trash, right? Very strange. Is Doomcock a 60-year-old drug addict? If so, maybe.
If there's going to be any hope of saving anything. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Jesus Christ. Okay. That's enough of this nonsense for the day.